It's PyWeek. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a semi-annual Python game jam. This year I'm competing, and the theme this week is Tube. I mostly brainstormed and did a little bit of coding yesterday, but the real magic will be happening the rest of the week, and I'll be recording and uploading my progress to YouTube. What you are watching now is a little prototype I made yesterday to test out some new mechanics I had never worked with before that are going to be improved on so I can make my full game. The first thing I wanted to do was make a bigger map to test all the features I was going to add. I designed a tile map system using lists, but after spending a few minutes working on it, I decided it would be easier to redesign the system to read off of a text file. This worked much better when designing a map, and I used a sequence of randomly generated numbers to design it. When I tested my new map, I noticed an immediate problem. Each tile was generated individually, and that created over 1,000 entities, which killed my frame rates, as you can see in the corner. I fixed this problem with a quick Google search on how to combine all the cubes into one entity. This greatly improved the frame rate. Also, side note, the frames in the corner will always be lower because I have recording software running, and I tested it when it was off, and the frame rate was like 20 frames faster. I tweaked the AI a bit since the goal is for them to reach the bottom of the map. I just don't allow them to travel upwards, which stops them from going in the wrong direction. Next, I worked on making spawners for the enemies. These will allow me to designate areas where the enemies will appear. I'll probably make these invisible in the final game, but for now they are just red squares. I designed a wave system which will work as the core mechanic for the game. The player will have to defend the tube from an increasing number of enemies. It took a lot of testing and troubleshooting to get it working properly, but I was finally able to get it functional. I'll probably come back and make significant changes to the system later, but I'm going to add the rest of the features so I don't have to keep rebalancing it. Adding the gun was easy, as I just spawn an entity on the player's position and have it travel in the direction they are facing. I also made a bullet manager to track all the bullets and make sure that they all update properly. It did give me a few problems when testing it, but that's just because I forgot to give the enemies colliders. To finish up the gun, I added the nice gunshot noise to give some feedback to the player. I also went ahead and increased the player's speed because I felt they were a little too slow for how large the map was. With the wave logic finished and a gun to use, I went ahead and created the rest of the wave objects. I then had to make some logic for advancing to the next wave. It actually took me a lot longer to figure out how I could do it than I thought it would. After adding all these features, the game was beginning to slow down and my frame rate started dropping again. I knew it was mostly due to my recording software, but I decided to clean up my code a bit, and that yielded a performance boost. I felt very satisfied with the day's work since I went from this to this. That's gonna wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow.